Bed Bath & Beyond was shorted 80%. You go to January 21, you look at that Bloomberg terminal screenshot. This is why those two companies had that insane high short interest, because there is an asset there. There is no one else in the baby space. There's no one else in the game space. It is so obvious what this strategy is. The strategy is destroy the assets that make sense and then take the market share for themselves. This is legal monopolization. So if this can happen with GameStop, it should happen with anything with an asset. It's the playbook. BBBY Baby is that asset. Where did the $2 billion come from? Have you read Ryan Cohen's letter? Like, he says it very clearly right there. And it's not like you get to decide, or Holly Etlin. By the way, I hope everyone stops talking about Holly Etlin said $5 billion.
Why?
That's sales. That's just sales. That's not what the company's worth.
Well,
that's and by the way,
it's a
now that Bed Bath & Beyond
company.
Yeah, it was. It was a $6 billion company the year before, and now sales continue to drop, and Bed Bath & Beyond's no longer going to exist. That's like 60 to 70% of the remaining footprint. This company is now like a $2 billion company in sales at most going forward, because Bed Bath & Beyond's done. And so does that even matter? It doesn't matter at all.
Even at $2 billion, why would they just wipe that out? Like, if they have profitable stores and they're going to make $2 billion, why would they wipe it out? Why would all their partners that are selling products through there, why would they just want to just walk away from that?
Nobody's walking away from BBBY Baby. That's the point. But
Bed Bath & Beyond's business model
was, well, you should ask why no one auctioned for it.
Because I don't think they wanted to sell it.
Bed Bath & Beyond right now is solely facilitating sales, but they will close every single Bed Bath & Beyond store. Every single one of these will be stored.
Yeah.
It's really Ryan Cohen or whoever's going to acquire Baby that is going to get 300 up to 360 prominent locations for his Baby store. That is why the IP was sold off.
I also don't think that they're going to go and take Bed Bath & Beyond stores and make them BBBY Babies. That's not a theory that I've subscribed to. There were 120 BBBY Baby stores. Realistically, the reports have shown that someone is interested in 75% of them. I think 100 stores at tops are going to be left. Does that matter? I mean, really, we've been talking about an e-commerce presence this whole time. You can go back to his letter, and he outlines specifically in one of the better components of Baby is that operational hurdles can be eased with its e-commerce and online presence. Here we are. We're in operational hurdles. This is the asset people want. I don't understand why we go back and forth.
Quick, can I jump in? Because it's been my understanding is that there's already like a stalking horse bid for that is like $15.5 million that on Friday is going to be discussed, correct?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the IP rights, which was only half of the auction. Two things. One,
and it's
the
a
second half of the auction.
Bid.
The second half of the auction supersedes
so was the
first part if
one
someone
for Bed
wants
Bath
the
& Beyond,
IP.
and that was the final bid.
Congratulations. No one cares about Bed Bath & Beyond, though. That's the company
they do. They were talking about it before you came in. This whole thing started with Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't care. I've been talking about this for months. Have you followed my work? Bed Bath & Beyond is gone.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
The last three times I came on here, AB and C and I have both talked about how Bed Bath & Beyond will shoulder the debt and BBBY Baby will remain. And it doesn't really fucking matter, because anytime a new owner is going to take this company, they're going to pay us a new equity, and it's going to cause a short squeeze.
Why do you think they would do that? Companies
for
don't just give away money
$840 million
for no
in tax
reason.
assets. It's not out of fucking
but you wouldn't make money.
Else.
Why do you think
why
you as an
wouldn't make money?
Why do you think you would make money?
Why are you so concerned?
On BBBY Baby? On BBBY Baby.
Why do you think your Bed Bath & Why is your BBBY stock going to be worth money?
It's going back up.
Nonsense. You're
it's
more
at
of a
30
conspiracy
cents.
artist
Wow.
than I am.
Yeah, we're about to fuck to 100.
Are you?
And
Are
higher.
you though?
Alpha State with the $10. Use
Who
this
the
opportunity
fuck is
to
this
keep the
cunt?
show
Get the fuck
to
off the
educate
show.
her and her
Sorry,
followers.
I disagree with you, so I must be FUD.
Well,
you didn't disagree with anything. You're just yelling words.
Yeah, well,
you haven't
let
even made a
I'm
single point.
I'm the yeller.
Here's the deal.
Guys.
You're being
It doesn't fucking matter about the volume. You sound like an idiot. This isn't altruistic, like someone's trying to come help us. It's the only way to get an $840 million tax asset. Have you even brought that up? Have you even mentioned it?
We actually just talked about it with her. So here's the deal. What I don't understand is why you're so fixated on a company that you don't even buy or invest in. You have such a strong opinion. You seem like you know so much, but you don't even read the dockets or really follow. I mean, it seems to me you're only really following either this show or like a news outlet, and you're not really doing
it.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
So I'm not particularly interested in Bed Bath & Beyond itself. I'm interested in you guys and the people who are involved in that and GameStop, because the thought process is very interesting, both to me and my audience, like I understand you don't agree with that, but that's the answer.
How big is your audience? Just curious.
Right now I have 210 viewers on Twitch. Depends. I have 16,000 something YouTube subscribers.
Nice, congrats.
And what happens, Hannah, when you're all wrong with your viewpoint here?
If I'm wrong, I'll come back on and apologize. Genuinely, I don't want.
I don't need an apology. I'm going to be rich, so
when I'm rich, I don't want to hear from you ever again.
Let me be clear. I want all of you to make your money back and more. I do not want bad things to happen to you guys. Far from it. That's why. That's what interests me. In fact, is that
you're laughing about a $2 billion valuation of Baby, as if you're the chief of who gets to decide who Baby is. Have you read Ryan Cohen's letter?
It's based on the 15.5 million current stalking horse bid for Friday. I don't.
It's pretty clear that someone who would want Bye Bye Baby. First of all, Bye Bye Baby is an omni-channel retailer with Bed Bath & Beyond, who is gone. So it would make a lot of sense that you would want to take that IP, that brand, and send it off. If you've got something like Teddy in the back waiting for it. You're going to take the stores and you're going to call it a different name. And now that thing is going to be omni-channel with GameStop. And it has nothing to do with Bed Bath & Beyond, so we're changing the name. That's why you would auction it for $15 million.
We got a $2. We got a $2 tip from Ace Ventura. Hannah Montana, why are you so mad?
I guess my thing is, I still don't understand why you guys think the Teddy thing is anything more than Ryan Cohen's children book series.
You sound like the Wall Street Journal reporter who talked to me in February. That's exactly what she said, quote for quote.
Oh, thank you. That's actually
nice. In the cave. That's exactly what she said on my interview.
Oh, I think you have to separate the journalists. That's nice.
The company from the tinfoil. The tinfoil is the cherry on the top, right? It's great. And there's a lot that could happen, and there's really smart, powerful people that want to make it, that have things to gain from making it happen. But even if you think about the leases that Bed Bath & Beyond didn't want and Bye Bye Baby didn't want, those were worth $37 million just selling the leases. That's how much they made. So to say that, like, oh, the whole company gets reduced down to 15 million, that is absurd. Just the leases that they didn't want, it cost that. So that means, what is the value of the leases that they wanted to keep? Just those leases alone is worth a lot more than what the market cap is right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that,
I was just going to say, we're going to go ahead and move on. Hannah, if there's anything else you want to add, 650 people in here. Now's the time to do so. And then we're going to go ahead and move on and interview David Simpson here.
I just want to say good luck to you guys. Like I said, no ill will. I hope you guys do well. I'm concerned, but I know you don't take me seriously. So that's fine.
Yeah, you're going concerned, aren't you? I just learned that phrase last week. Actually,
yeah, I know you guys said it a lot when you're.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know. I don't think right now you'll want me on again. But if you ever do,
hit me up there's links provided in the
chat. Research about this. Yeah. Like, don't just come and say some stuff. Write a post. Tell us why we're wrong. I'll read it. I read Kaiko, whatever his name was. Read a whole Substack about it. I'll read anything you write.
Yeah, you can make a post in the PP subreddit. We'll read it.
All right. Well, I'll
see you back here on July 18th if you need a loan or some financial help.
Not for me, though.
It's a date. See you guys then.
Take care. All right, you heard it from Hannah Reloaded.
Swearing.
No, it's all right.
Patience. I have no patience for that shit.
Right. I mean, things can get heated here at the PB Show, man. All opinions are welcome. That doesn't mean that everyone's going to agree with everybody from time to time.
Wine. It's not even because I'm drunk.
Good idea, man. I'm gonna go grab myself a drink too. That's a great cue right there to maybe make a drink. I'll be right back. ABC, you take over for a moment.
Yeah.
ABC again, dude. I'm sorry for that.
Why?
I'm so uncomposed when it comes to belittling people, especially. It's not just when you say stupid and wrong things. I'm fine with that, but it's when you say that I'm being stupid and wrong when you haven't even put the puzzle together. I have no patience for that.
That's the problem. I have no problem debating anything with anybody, but come to the table with some congruent and concrete info so we can have a debate. But
just throwing words like conspiracy around and like liquidations, like, my God, the whole argument is that you're stupid and I'm smarter than you, but it has nothing to do with what's going on in the company.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And you're absolutely right. Bed Bath & Beyond is gone, guys. I've been slowly really.
Where is that permanent? Like, where is that actually written that every store is getting closed?
Well, so Holly Atlin said in her bankruptcy hearing that the company is no longer offering the Bed Bath & Beyond as a going concern sale. It's because the auction happened and anyone who would have wanted it bid for what they wanted, and no one wanted it.
No, but I mean, my theory the whole time was that they weren't ever planning on selling that. They were only planning on basically having a different partner for the internet portion of it, and that they were going to carve out baby. So like, it makes sense that they're like, it's not up for sale because we're still going to run it. We have, like, Sue Gubb says that they had 360 profitable stores. That was her turnaround plan 2 months ago. And then why would we think that their turnaround plan changed in 2 months?
Well, simply because no one wanted it. So at the same time, you can say that the company is going to exit.
She says she already has a board. She wants to have a full women's board and everything.
I personally think that's unlikely.
Yeah, there are distribution centers, and there's a lot of back-end stuff that certainly holds value. And if ICANN Enterprises is involved, you will see that certainly become part of a movement forward. But it's more to create a synergistic relationship for an e-commerce platform. It has nothing to do with brick and mortar Bed Bath & Beyond. And there is some recent articles that are coming out which we can consider FUD, but even the Overstock CEO literally is trying to distance themselves.
Thank you, appreciate it.
From the aspect of Bed Bath & Beyond stores. Now, I'm a firm believer that it would be silly to just close up all the Bed Bath & Beyond. But as I kind of said a couple streams ago, you've got Targets, you've got Walmarts, but here you've got ICANN with Newell and Westing Point and all these other things. It would be a smart play to grab the distribution centers, and we've seen all that kind of back-end stuff, and none of that was offered off, right? But now the transition is being baby. It is the crown jewel. It is the money. And we've gotten the debt so down low that we're already in a positive situation. At 1.7 with the tax credits, and I think you're absolutely right, David. I think there was even another 1.1 billion based on the share buybacks that they had, that they're able to get an additional tax credit of. There's massive amounts of money for somebody to acquire this, but I don't think it'll be a Bed Bath & Beyond retail move anymore.
So I think the point to make is that, really quickly, if I can just interject, the point that I think is relevant here is that you can't exit Chapter 11 and continue operating your Bed Bath & Beyond stores without your brand and website, which they've now sold. So, when you go to bedbathandbeyond.com, that's not now, but eventually that's going to take you to Overstock's business. That's why Overstock's stock went up, is because any traffic to Bed Bath & Beyond website is now going to be new sales for that company, for that small purchase of 21.5 million. But
I think we need to be clear. We need to be clear too that we also still have no idea what's going on. So we can't quite literally say this is liquidating and this is what's happening, because we don't really know what actually is happening, right? I mean, someone makes a good point is, people are bringing up, for instance, Life Relations, saying the shared IP and things like that. I think it's hard to say exactly how this happens, but if we're right about Teddy, then what David's saying could potentially be correct. I mean, if the end jewel is Bye Bye Baby, which inevitably will become Teddy, right? Then it's safe to say that our equity will go there. So I mean, to me, it's still really hard to rule out. Well, just because it's not a going concern, it's absolutely 100% liquidating. It's hard to say, man. And I agree with David. I agree with everybody, but I think that I don't think it's 100% certain of that happening as of yet. And I don't think anyone can really say that's for sure what's happening. I'm going to bring
and maybe that's the case.
Yep.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just think there's a value to it being a showroom, right? I remember when we had a Circuit City in our town, and then we also had a Best Buy, and Circuit City went out. And I think that what helped Best Buy a lot was the fact that all these companies like Samsung and Apple were paying to have a showroom for each one of their things. And I just imagine that if you have these great locations, that all those national brands are willing to kind of invest and make a favorable, help Bed Bath & Beyond be that showroom, because there aren't actually a lot of other things that replace it. I was looking at that West Point, and I went through Google Maps, and I was looking at a lot of them in Florida and whatnot. And it looked pretty terrible, to be honest. It wasn't showing off the products very well. It just looked like a cheap warehouse. Whereas Bed Bath & Beyond actually looks good. And I think there's value there. And I think that they're just going to keep those best stores going, because there's no reason really that if you have profitable stores, why would you just walk away from them?
Because I just want to say this real quick. You can't put your name on it anymore.
Jojo with the $20. Ape intellects win every time. Love you guys. Sorry, go ahead, fellas.
I just want to jump in and say, ultimately, I understand what you're saying, and we still have a lot more to learn, Michael.
Appreciate the tip, man.
Basically, think about it, though. Bed Bath & Beyond was a great retailer, iconic, but it sells a lot of products that the guy Target down the road does, Walmart down the road. There's Wayfair, there's no exclusivity. So the real business model of the future is called e-commerce, right? And Holly's identify it that BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store. Well, you've got GME, which has 3,500 brick and mortar, all those small locations. You now have possibly a Teddy brand that's going to show up on 100 to 115. I say maybe up to 360 locations. You can still run this buy online, pick up store without having the Bed Bath & Beyond banner. However, originally when Overstock came in, I thought it was a decoy. But now that I'm seeing the CEO flap his mouth saying that we are now Bed Bath & Beyond, we own the brand name and everything like that, will there still be a synergy where they're sharing some of their products on Teddy.com? Very possibly. I mean, that could be to its fruition. Maybe
if you go to Overstock, right? I think I said this last time. You just go to their website. They sell furniture. They sell home fashion. They sell baby products. It's not like this is some random company we've heard of because they issued an NFT to shareholders. Like they're probably naked shorted for the same reason Bed Bath & Beyond and Bye Bye Baby were. It's because they are in the category that someone is trying to absorb the market share for at a much higher level than we can even anticipate.
So I just imagined.
Let me just say this real quick. Ace Ventura, Ace Ventura with the 5 PP Show memberships, man. Wow. Appreciate the fucking love. If you received a fucking membership from Ace Ventura, be sure to give thanks in the chat. Use those PP fucking BDSM emojis, man. Go ahead, whoever.
So I just think that you could, just real quick, you could license, let's say that Bed Bath licenses the name Bed Bath & Beyond from Overstock, but then Overstock pays Bed Bath & Beyond to be a location to have a pickup in store, or to have, that they could both be paying each other for different things in like a pseudo relationship. It would actually be mutually beneficial for both of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, but this isn't like a merger, right? This was like a sale of assets and a bankruptcy auction.
Right, but it'd be like a soft merger where if they're not actually merged, but they're like interdependent, because all companies are interdependent with the rest of their supply chain. And the more you can kind of weave that in, it's like, hey, look, we need each other. Let's make this best for both of us.
I think I think it's a stock equity deal. What do you think, David?
Yeah, well, so I want to say really quick, and I don't mean to interrupt on the point we were just making, but there was a post yesterday from Whoop Ass, and I've loved that guy for a while. We just read it here. Yeah, cool. He made a comment at the end where I was like, oh, damn it, dude, you were like on the right path with everything. And then he makes a comment about all cash transactions. And I guess this fear again that an all cash transaction would result in no squeeze, which is true. But if it is an all cash transaction, you're not getting equity, of course. And if you don't get equity, it's pretty impossible for you to own 50% of the newly restructured company.
Exactly.
Then it has to be equity. You literally have to have shares involved so that you can own the company and get that tax asset from the nulls. I think we should already have said by now the cash transaction is off the table. It is going to be either equity or equity in cash. And in either case, we're here for the squeeze at this point. So that's the thing. I hope people don't give a shit about valuations or numbers at this point. It's so unconventional in investing in something that.
Well, why do you think that? Because valuation, I feel like, plays a pretty big hand in here. If we're looking at like a buyout or an LBO,
I think it's because the shorts are going to have to close by a deadline, and I think there are billions of shorts that we can already calculate.
When the price of each share is like $600 and the valuation is like $3, $4,
by
$5, $6
$700 million. So now we're talking like a 42 billion market cap. Well, that's overvalued, but it probably will get there. And for the reason
it's probably going to get there. That's why it doesn't matter right now with the valuation.
That Twitch stream had 1,400 live viewers for that bankruptcy hearing. We have 1,430 shareholders who have been polled in Paddling Shit Creek's share count. Poll. 1,400 in both of those. How many people do you think are actually involved in this? And I think 50,000 is not an outrageous number. Even if it's not everyone on the BBY sub, there are people
probably
outside
more
of
than
that.
that. Yeah, think about people who aren't even on Reddit and shit.
Yeah,
yeah, I've got a bunch of friends
like
who just
like me.
I use them.
Yeah.
They use me for information,
Exactly.
and
Totally.
they're not even on Reddit. So,
yeah,
we're all just little beacons out there. If it's 50,000 people by 50,000 shares, that's 2.5 billion shares. That's 1.8 billion naked shorts having to close by a deadline. That's over 70%. I'm not worried, right? At that point, you could sell Bye Bye Baby for $2 a share, and that
exactly.
Come to
it could be a free.
eventually.
It could be a free sale. Exactly.
It could be a free sale. Just make sure the shares are going, right? Yeah, that's all. Just need the equity swap at this point, which is why I think we're more productive talking about the net operating losses and talking about the equity transaction for Bye Bye Baby.